Alright guys, really good job there through the finals of the Champions League so far. We've just got Western Suburbs left in the big dance now. We've had the wood over them recently, but honestly last year's National League final, if it wasn't for those red cards, they could have beaten us, okay? So let's just make sure that we're on our game in case they actually keep 11 players on the field and make sure we pick up this Champions League win so we can go to the Club World Cup, boys. Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 171 of the New Zealand Builder Nation here on Shaun Does FM with both Cashmere Technicolor and the All Whites. Hope you're doing well and come up today to start a new week. We've got the Champions League final for 2041 as you all probably expected in All New Zealand Clash. We will take on Western Suburbs, so if you're looking forward to that then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. At the end of last week, made our way through the transfers and the group stages of this OFC Champions League for this season. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner off the back of that, or at least towards the end of that one. We did get our path through to the final as we found out it was splitting the draws. Western Suburbs, we could only beat them in the final. Indeed, that is what happened as well. And as well as that, we'll be making our way through quite a few Southern League games as well. So we'll pop over to the schedule so you can see what's happened off the back of the end of last week. There you can see the last game of the group stage of the Champions League. First up, we took on Western Suburbs in the Charity Cup. Picked up a relatively comfortable 3-0 win. Hopefully, that'll give us a nice psychological advantage going into this final, especially considering this also is up yet again at the Declan Edge Stadium, going back to the days where every time we seem to play these guys, it was away from home. We'll just wait here for the match report to load up. But Rivera Khaled and Diego Mazzi, they popped up with the goals from this one. As you can see, it was a pretty dominant display. Hopefully, we can do something similar here coming up in this Champions League final. We need to, of course, because it's a one-off game. And of course, last time we took on Western Suburbs in one of these was the National League Grand Final not too long ago. The game, of course, where they ended up going down to 8 men with 3 red cards, but it still took us until extra time to beat them 4-1. So hopefully for Western Suburbs, they keep some more players on the field this time, but it's been a long time in game really since anyone's beaten us here at Cashmere Tech, and Western Suburbs, they are no exception. In terms of the actual knockouts of the Champions League, went through 18-0 over AS Tefana off the back of a 10-0 first league win, 8-0 second league, and we rotated our team quite a bit for that second league. Western Suburbs 6-3 over 1 yard. It was 2-all in the second league, but they got job done 4-1 in the first league, so they actually got through that one relatively comfortably. Labasa knocked out to Papa Maralinga 6-3, and to Pujia Mary just did enough coming from behind, picking up a 3-1 win to knock out Tafia 5-4. That definitely the pick of all those quarterfinals. And going forward to the semis, we took on Labasa from Fiji, 8-1 in the first league, 4-0 in the second league. We go through 12-1, and Western Suburbs picked up a 4-2 win over Tapuji Mary in the first league, only 1-0 in the second, but they still go through 5-2. So pretty comfy wins for both the New Zealand teams on their way through to this final, albeit we've been in very, very good touch both times. Picked up a sizable first league win, which did mean we could rest our players going to the second league of each of those quarters and semis of the Champions League. So it has meant we've been able to put out pretty strong teams in all our Southern League games so far. 4-0 over Mosgiel, 3-0 over Christchurch United, 7-1 over Green Island, and another one over Christchurch United before this Champions League final, this time by a scoreline of 5-0. So in terms of how the Southern League looks, we'll do a quick update on each of the sub-leagues here in New Zealand because they'll give you a good idea of how Western Suburbs have been getting on in and around those Champions League games. We're on top. Green Island in second. That's a bit different to usual. Selwyn Dunedin on 7 points. And further down the table, Nelson Suburbs, Nomads, Christchurch United, and Mosgiel. So a little bit different looking at that Southern League table early, albeit Christchurch United have had the disadvantage of having to play us twice. I wouldn't be surprised if those guys now went up the table in the remaining 10 or so games in that Southern League. In terms of the Northern League, Auckland City, they're still quite washed. They're gone back to the days of being slow starters. 1 win, 1 draw, 3 losses from their first 5 games, currently just outside of the relegation zone. But Western Springs on top with Manurewa Melville and Takapuna United currently in the spots where you go through to the National League Championship. And to be fair, Narua Wahia are also currently the other team in that conversation, only 1 point further behind, a bit of a gap to the rest. in the Central League, where of course we find Western Suburbs. They've dropped points early. They lost one game. That was if we can actually click on it and find out. I might have to do that shortly when we have a look at their club profile. But they're in third behind Wellington Olympic and Havelock North. But you'd imagine those three might be tough to get past for the likes of Napier City Rovers, already having a fair bit of ground to make up. But Western Suburbs, you can see, did lose a game in the Central League. That was to Napier City as well, so not too good a form for those guys early stages of that Central League. But to be fair, that was either side of some Champions League games, so maybe they rotated for that one just to be safe, making sure that they're able to put out a full strength team for the first leg of that Champions League semi. Off the back of that, their form, it has improved. To be fair, it's a very similar team to the last couple of times that we've taken them on by the looks of their captain, vice-captain, and key player likes of Duval, Dan Wynn, and Ahmed Namaito, one of the three players who got sent off in that crazy National League final that we did play last week. In terms of us, we do have a couple of injuries going to this game. Unfortunately, Alex Moore did come back from that injury he picked up in that final last year, played 45 minutes for the B team to start his recovery, and he's got a hip injury, which is going to keep him out for 5 weeks to 2 months. Alex Moore not doing too well here currently at Cashmere Tech, especially on a wage of £1,500 a week. Maybe need to consider letting him go come the end of this year if he is going to be so injury prone. So unfortunately, Alex Moore will not feature at all during this Champions League, considering he missed a lot of football while he was dealing with the damaged ACL. And also another injury, Finn Brown. He's just about to come back from pulled ankle ligaments. Unfortunately, it will keep him out for one more day, so not going to risk him here in this final in the Champions League. So it does mean a couple of positions where we're not quite as strong as we'd like to be. To be fair, Mazi, it does mean he just sticks around as the backup to Walid Khalid for a bit longer, but also we don't really have a backup central attacking midfielder, so it does mean that we've called up from our under-20s Andrew Thomas, who can play a bit of right wing, which has been quite useful because Muzzy actually has been injured a bit recently before this final, but he can also cover striker and central attacking midfielder, the young American, and being under 20, that's been quite useful in those domestic games that we have been playing. So he's really the one new face from that team that we did unveil at the end of last week for this season, a player that we did sign, I think it was a couple of years ago when he had a bit more potential, the young American, but hopefully we won't have to use him in this game. Someone like Jamie Young can stay out there for the whole 90, and hopefully this time, even if they keep 11 players on the field, we can pick up a win inside 90 minutes as we take on Western Suburbs in the OFC Champions League final, and hopefully, absolutely, book our spot in the Club World Cup later this year. And here are the team sheets for this 2041 OFC Champions League final. There are Western Suburbs, and they are sticking with their 4-3-3, very similar team, as I said earlier, what we've taken on the last couple of times we've played them in this save. There we are. It's our first choice 11, and we don't have to worry about the under-20 rule or anything like that. Just a few changes on the bench with those injuries to Moore and to Finn Brown, but hopefully can pick a win over these guys yet again and make it 12 Champions League titles. And we don't have to wait long for the first highlight of this game, just 3 minutes and a free kick for us here, just inside our own half, albeit poor touch there from Kamalo. He was getting pressed quite hard there as that ball got played to him, and now Western Suburbs do win that one back, but then someone gets a foot in there on Duval, and we get the ball back ourselves. Now Khalid plays it forward to Kamalo this time, picks out Rivera down our right-hand side. He finds Khalid. Nice square there for Kamalo. Apparently, it did find him as an assist. I think it took a deflection off a defender, so might be no assist for that goal, but Khalid does pick it up, and we take a very early 1-0 lead. Hopefully this will get us on our way here to a nice comfy winner, like was the case in the Charity Cup. Rivera to Khalid, and it's a simple tap in there for Kamalo. Unfortunately, Diaz there in goal for Western Suburbs. For them, anyway, cannot stop that one from finding our striker. It's a great start. We're 1-0 up early. And going forward about 20 minutes for the next highlight in this game, still the team here on the front foot off back of that opening goal. And again, it's a free kick here just inside of our half, but beef here doesn't take us too long to get on the front foot. Hosapa plays that back to Cifuentes, got Anderson on his left in a ton of space for some reason, plays it straight to Cogman. Oh dear, that's our best player in New Zealand these days according to the national team screen that we get, because apparently David Cifuentes is our best player. Look at Tim Anderson in all that space, you raging idiot. Can't take the Arsenal out of the player. You absolute bottler to be fair. It could be worse. He could be formerly of Spurs. But that's a shocker. Cogman gets a gift, and it's 1-1. And we're just about to make our way into half-time in this game. Unfortunately, a giveaway from Cifuentes has got Western Suburbs back into this game, but we've still been the team on the front foot for most of this half, albeit late on. A highlight here. We have the ball inside of their half. Hopefully this time can keep hold of it. Carletta just plays that one back there to Hosar for turns before going back to Clark, who to be fair on a yellow card might come off. That looked like a certain goal. Very similar to the first one. A little bit further out though, and Camalo could not hit the target, so really that should have been 2-1, and it really should be 2-0. With that goal we gave away, David Cifuentes on a 6.4. I'm very tempted to take him off for young Shaun Hall, but our midfield actually is a bit of a problem here. We'll take off Corona on a 6.4 for Vinicius and bring on Turner with Clark on a yellow card. Of course, last time we played these guys, all those yellow cards did kind of turn to red cards for Western Suburbs. So we'll play things safe. We'll leave David Cifuentes out there because he is quite good, but not too happy with him. But hopefully that was just a bit of a small blush from him. He can make up for it in the second half. We can kick away as it's currently locked up at 1-1. And a very early highlight for us here in the second half, just 1 minute and a throw inside of the final third. Sousa gets that back from Otto. Now Turner finds Otto, starts to cut in field, takes on the shot, got a bit more central to goal, but unfortunately couldn't quite curve that one inside that right hand upright. Still 1-1 at the 15-minute mark. And we come to the hour mark now in this game. Western Suburbs are picking up a couple of yellow cards. They might want to watch that considering what happened in that final last year. We're going to take off Otto on a 6-point throw. Alfonso did quite well against Christchurch United in the last game we played, so he can come on for him. But that's now a couple of our better players, and Otto and Clark off the field in this one. Now a free kick there to Western Suburbs. Thankfully, Cifuentes doesn't have to get tested. That one goes well over the bar. Still 1-1, but a few minutes on from that, and Western Suburbs now have to make their way out from the back, and hopefully this might be the goal in return for that one we gave them. They gift us the ball very easily, but Vinicius takes on the shot. Probably not the player we want out there, be taking that shot. Our defensive midfielder, decent save from Diaz, and off the back of that, a corner, Anderson puts that one over the bar. So unfortunately, that goal, which was given away by Cifuentes, still quite costly. 1-1 with 15 minutes left. And not to off the back of that previous chance that we did have there through Vinicius and also Anderson, now we try and make our way here up from the back and do a decent job up until that pass from Carletta, which doesn't quite hit the mark, and now Duval gets in behind. That's a lovely ball for Thomas, who is onside, but thankfully Cifuentes makes up for that horrible error in the first half. Big chance there for Western Suburbs to go in front, but Cifuentes with a big save to get himself onto a 6.5. Usually he'd be in the 7s. That shows how much that error did matter earlier. Decent chance as well off the back of these subsequent corner, but thankfully they don't quite the target, and it's still 1-1. Off the back of that, we have a goal kick. Thankfully, Cifuentes that time actually finds a teammate in some space, and now Jamie Young makes his way forward. Good slide tackle there, though, from Arakaina. I believe it's one of the players who got sent off in that final last year, and now Walton does get in behind. A good chance there. He tries to chip that one over Cifuentes. He does, but just a touch too much on it. 1-1, but it feels like here Western Suburbs getting all the chances. It's not being helped either here by a free kick, but thankfully Vinicius will head that one away to be fair. We have a few players of ours out there on a green rating, as well as Walid, Khaled and Camalo after linking up for our first goal. But Khaled now finds Rivera, squares that one nicely for Camalo. He should have a hat-trick. He's now missed some really good chances late in the first half and in the second half. And now we might just make some subs because we've got Walid, Khaled down to a red hard. He's playing really well, creating chances, but unfortunately don't want to get him injured. Zamazi can come on, and hopefully that might just help us out in the later stages of this game. But Camalo, after getting our first goal really early, could have put this game to bed with some big chances off the back of that, but unfortunately hasn't quite been at his clinical best. And now a highlight where we do unfortunately give the ball away, but good work there from Sousa. Get that back for us now. A chance for us here, hopefully on the counter attack. Alfonso does his man there from a tight angle and beats the goalkeeper, and Diaz from it as well. That makes it 2-1. Off the back of that, time for us here to just pull our players back onto support instead of attack, and Debenham as well can come on for Rivera on a red heart. And as I said, we'll just go on to support with those players out wide, and also an attacking midfielder who usually are on attack, just to hopefully make sure no chances late here for Western Suburbs to grab an equaliser and take this one to extra time, like was the case in last year's National League final. But to be fair, this time they do still have 11 men on the field. Also, let's just drop that defensive line, but that's a big goal late from Fernando Alfonso, who, of course, as I said, did quite well against Christchurch United in the last game we played in this save, which was in the Southern League. But somehow there does his man down that left-hand side and beats Diaz there from a very tight angle. That could be a big goal. I guess that's the one that makes up for the error from Cifuentes earlier. And now we're almost at full time. Late highlight Western Suburbs here have to make their way out from the back and right as well, deep inside their half from a goal kick, but they find here Nitro down the left-hand side. What can he do? Floats this one far post, and Anderson, the former Western Suburbs player, has pushed someone in the back, and it's a chance for Bibby from the penalty spot. You absolute freaking idiots. Jimson Bibby scores from the spot, 30 seconds over added time, because Tim Anderson felt like helping out his former team, and that makes it 2-2. We'll go back to what we usually do here at Cashmere Tech, but seriously not impressed with that. That's now 2 goals we've given away, and neither of them we really should have done. A bad mistake from Cifuentes, and then one from Tim Anderson. You could argue 2 of our better players here at Cashmere Tech, and probably the 2 best ones who are still on the field. But Bibby, he takes the penalty as you'd expect off the back of that push in the back that Anderson gave to Gibb, I believe it was. And this one is now going to extra time, and the entire reason why is a couple of big balls ups from some of our players defensively. What we're going to do here, we've got one more sub we can make Sousa down to a red heart, so Rodrigo Serra can come on for him. We'll just leave things though how we usually play here at Cashmere Tech, and hopefully again we can run over the top of these guys in extra time, but not very happy with them. I'll tell them that this time instead of encouraging them, because seriously, this game should be wrapped up. Camalo's missed some good chances, and obviously the Cifuentes error and the Anderson one giving away that late penalty. And there's a highlight here from the restart as well, so let's see what happens as we get stuck in to extra time. A poor pass out there, and Thomas with an interception, so not linking up as well as you'd think here with our best team at Cashmere Tech, but fortunately get that ball back, and now Muzzy makes his way inside the box. That's a big chance, but Diaz this time comes up with a good save there as we're looking for that bottom left corner. Off the back of that, a corner which Jamie Young takes. It's a bit of a cheeky one back out there to Muzzy, who for some reason plays it back out to Young in an offside position, even though it looked like there he might have actually had a decent chance at a shot on goal. Early stages of the extra time, still at 2-2. And we've just made our way into 1 minute of added time here in the first half of extra time, and a highlight for us here thrown inside the final third. Muzzy takes on the shot this time and curves it round Diaz. Debenham will pick up the assist. It's a pretty simple throw routine from us there, but thankfully we are back in front, and hopefully this time we don't stuff it up like we have so far in this game, because we are being just a little bit bottly. But nice finish there from Muzzy with his left foot. To be fair, now that does mean that both our replacement wingers have picked up goals, but that does mean 3-2 going in for the second half of extra time, so that is a nice position to be in. Hopefully can grab a cushion goal, albeit right from the restart. There is a highlight here where they are on the ball, Western Suburbs, with good work there from Serra, and now we should get a chance. Camalo plays that to Turner, Alfonso cuts inside, but then Turner, he loses out on the ball, and Thomas in a bit of space there for Western Suburbs. Walton plays through Baker, big chance there for Suburbs, comes off the post, it goes to Thomas, open net, but somehow misses the target. We got away with that one. Finally, a big chance Western Suburbs they don't take, and we're still 3-2 in front. And only a few minutes on from that massive chance of Western Suburbs to level things back up yet again. They have a throw in here inside our half, but thankfully someone there got a foot in it, and we do get the ball back. Hopefully can keep hold of it this time, and hopefully go down the other end and score a goal, which will hopefully finally put this game to bed. Muzzy makes his way forward and does so quite impressively down that right-hand side, goes in there looking for Turner. He gets taken out by Wynn, who got pushed in back earlier for the penalty, which Anderson gave away very deep in regular time, but Jamie Young is there to sweep that one home, and let's hope with only 10 minutes left that will put this game to bed this time. Not going to try any time-wasting stuff, because obviously that didn't work earlier, but Jamie Young will put that one away. He's also now having quite a good game on a 7.4, and that's before that goal actually counts. Now he gets bumped up to an 8.3, but finally, yet again having to wait until extra time in a game against Western Suburbs, hence why I usually like playing the other New Zealand team over 2 legs in the Champions League, but we're going to get the job done in the Champions League, and now we are joint with Auckland City on 12 wins overall in club history. Hopefully next year we can depart Cashmere Tech off the back of lifting this trophy yet again and go above them as the most successful club in Oceania with 13. Unlucky for some of these OCL titles, but to be fair, we should have wrapped out in 90 minutes. Some really poor mistakes there at the back from us, and also Camalo missed some big chances, which should have seen us wrap that game up inside 90 minutes, but thankfully got the job done there thanks to some substitutes in extra time, and we lift the Champions League, as I said, for a 12th time here at Cash Music, and also a 12th time in a row off the back of a 4-2 extra time win in the final over Western Suburbs. So a lot of relief for us there in that Champions League final with Kashmir Tech picking up for the 12th year in a row. It took until extra time yet again, so you can see why I usually like playing teams over 2 legs instead of in a one-off game, but thankfully extra time yet again does prove our friend, and we pick up the Champions League trophy off the back of a 4-2 win there. The stats saying, I think I cut that off early. Possession quite even, which is a bit of a surprise for a game that we play, but clear-cut chances quite even as well. I think a lot of those would have fell to Kamalo with some really good chances in either half of regular time, which he missed. But in the end, our XG was higher, a lot more shots and shots on target than Western Suburbs, and eventually made it count there. In extra time, Jamie Young picks up man of the match there with a goal and an assist. And to be fair, the players that we did bring off the bench did have a big impact for us, so maybe a bit of bomb squad work for us there from our bench guys at Kashmir Tech has got us over the line. Just going to the inbox, but to be fair, I think you guys have seen all these items before, having won this now for a 12th time. A little bit of money, the board are happy with us, and that makes it 12 straight. And as we'll find out shortly, I'm pretty sure that does now mean we are joint with Auckland City in terms of overall Champions Leagues here at Kashmir Tech. For some reason, that won't pop up here, but let's just see if that does in terms of the overall history of the competition. Indeed, most times won Auckland City with 12. We're now level with them. Hopefully, as I said, we can overtake them next year, and that would be a good note to go out on here at Kashmir Tech for the club side of this save. But I think that will do it for today's episode. Just do enough there to get the job done and make it 12 Champions League titles here at Kashmir Tech. If you enjoyed that one, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. Now, I'm not too sure exactly what we'll come back for in tomorrow's episode. I'm pretty sure as of now, there's no scheduling for the Club World Cup. We should absolutely be going to that tournament, and apparently it's going to be scheduled in 6 days' time. Unfortunately, got a couple of Southern League games in between now and then. However, we are going to take on Wellington Olympic that day in the first round of the Chatham Cup, and to be fair, that's quite a big tie for that early in the competition. So maybe we come back for that game and see what we get in our group at the Club World Cup from this point forward. I think now we can slow things down just a little bit for our last couple of games here at Kashmir Tech, and especially our last crack at a competition, which should be difficult in the Club World Cup. Hopefully, though, we can go a bit deeper than we did last time. We made our way through to the second round, so I think we'll come back tomorrow, do a Chatham Cup game against Wellington Olympic, and see who we've got in our group at that Club World Cup, provided we're actually going, but surely we are off the back of 12 straight Champions League wins. So until tomorrow for that Cup game, and fingers crossed the draw for the Club World Cup. Thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.